Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review. And of course, I want to conclude the original the reviews of the original Indiana Jones trilogy. And of course, the conclusion of it is, of course, the 1989 film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And of course, it came out in 1989, 4 years after Temple of Doom. And this movie is actually rated PG-13. Of course, as I mentioned, the last movie actually caused the uh, Motion Picture Association of America to create the PG-13 rating. Now, of course, this one, of course, stars Harrison Ford. Once again, no Karen Allen, Allison Doody takes place as the female character in the film and love interest. Also, of course, the stars also has River Phoenix, and of course, also has, as you see on the cover, Sean Connery playing Indy's father. And the funny thing is, there's about maybe like 7 years difference between um, like an 8 year, 7 or 8 year difference between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. Um, but this movie is, I felt, out of the three films, the weakest one of the original trilogy. Uh, it does have a good plot, it has great action sequences in it, but it's mostly a father-son relationship. Because this movie actually starts off with a little, like a prequel of the film. And what I mean by that, it starts in like in 1912 actually, instead of in the 1930s, with River Phoenix playing the young Indiana Jones. And of course, that sequence, of course, was the premise of a short-lived TV series that aired on ABC called Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, or Young Indy. Um, and so River Phoenix, I think this was one of his last roles because I think within like a year later, he died of a drug overdose. Piece of crap. Dying of a drug overdose. And of course, it takes place like over 30 years later. I think it's supposed to take place in 1938. I'm double check on the chapter, which something that's really lacking in DVDs nowadays, and that's of course this chapter list. This thing takes place in 1938, 2 years after the events in Maze of the Lost Ark. Of course, the actual track, of course, is after the Indiana Jones gets a quest for Coronado. He gets asked by this wealthy financier, Walter Donovan, who of course was appeared in Empire Strikes Back actually. He asked him to go and help him get the cup, the Holy Grail. And of course was the cup, the so-called cup that Jesus Christ used in the Last Supper and caused his blood in the crucifixion. And of course this is a mythological thing, it didn't really exist. At least not in the Last Supper. Well, just read the Da Vinci Code and you know what I'm talking about. Um, so at first, Indy is not interested in doing it until he finds out that his father was involved in the project to look for the Holy Grail and that he has now gone missing. So Indy decides to forget the Grail and rescue his father. And said, I'm looking for my father, I'm looking for my. It's going like this for the first the first quarter of the movie. I'm looking for my father, I'm looking for my father. Of course, it was also translated to looking for the Holy Father. Uh, it's really subtle, but you can tell it's looking for my father. It means of course the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost stuff. So, but he does find about halfway through the movie, he does find his father played like again, played by Sean Connery, and they have a good on-screen relationship between each other because each one, at least Sean Connery was playing one up in Indy all the time. But the funny part of it is that both of them had sex with the Allison Judy character. And of course, she ends up screwing both of them in more ways than one, because it turns out that she's actually a Nazi, and she's interested in getting the bill for the Nazis. She's not interested in what the Nazis stand for, it's just that she got hired by them to find them the Grail. Kind of like what Belloc was hired by the Nazis to look for the Ark of the Covenant in the first movie. So, so yeah, Indy was ticked off at her for turning her back on everything that the Holy Grail is supposed to stand for. And he says, I believe in the Grail. So yeah, how come you aligned yourself with the Nazis? And of course, she didn't have an answer for Indy for that. So of course, the rest, pretty much, the second half of the film is the Nazis chasing Indy and his father so they can get the Grail Diary. Now what the Grail Diary is a little diary that Indy's father, Sean Connery, was writing stuff in for all the clues that he was looking for on the for the Grail. Includes a map where the Grail is supposed to actually be, which of course only in Indiana Jones film they actually did find a place where the Grail was supposed to be, and they used the Grail on Indy's father because he got shot by Donovan. And of course, Donovan and Alison Dewey's character follows Indy into the cave where the grave is, where the Grail is. And of course, Donovan, of course, picks the wrong Grail because he thinks there's many gold and diamonds in it. No, there's a cup for the King of Kings. He drank what? You picked up what from it? One little whale. And he, of course, died. He grew older and, of course, turned into a skeleton and dies. Spoiler. But of course, Indy took this old-fashioned cup, looks like a little piece of garbage cup, and it was actually the right one. Because Indy uses intelligence as an archaeologist to find out which one is the right grail. And of course, he used the grail for on his father because he got, like I said, he got shot. And had a cleaner's wound. And he drank the water from the cup. And of course, when after they used it, Elsa or the Elsa Dooley character tried to walk out of the room where the grail, out of the cave where the grail was, and you couldn't do it because at a certain point you couldn't cross the seal that was on the floor. And so we're now allowed to leave with the grail. You can't cross the seal. And of course, an earthquake, and Alison Dooley, of course, eventually fell to his death. And the grail was on this like little shelf within this little crevice. So his Indy trying to reach for it, and he falls in, and his Sean Connery, and of course, through the whole movie, he's calling Indiana Jones Jr. because Indy's actual name is Harry Jones Jr. And I'm going to mention why he's called Indiana in a moment. The Sean Connery, which is like one of the best scenes in the moments in the film, he goes Indiana, Indiana, let it go. I mean, he used the term "let it go" before Disney ruined that phrase in that god awful movie Frozen, uh, with that crappy song. Uh, that "let the girl go." He said, "Yeah, but it's part of your life." I said, "Yeah, but we can't leave it here, so we have to leave it here." So, so that's what happens, and of course, and when Sala was there, who was in, of course, the original movie, and so was Marcus Brody, who there's going to get a criticism for that in a moment. So Sala asked Henry's senior, Sean Connery character, how come you keep calling him? What's this mean? This junior? Because he doesn't understand that some religions you can't call your son a junior, like Cal Ripken Jr. or Ken Griffey Jr. And all that stuff. You can call except Judaism is one thing. You can't do that. If I have a son, I can't name him after me. I have to name him after their relative. But in some religions, and that's what happened here. So Sala asked me, well, how come you calling him Junior? Well, that's his name, Henry Jones Jr. And he goes, I like Indiana. And so we named the dog Indiana. And that's in fact true. Because George Lucas, as he was creating this character, named the character, or the original name of the character was actually Indiana Smith. And Spielberg actually changed the name to Indiana Jones because Indiana Jones sounds better than Indiana Smith because it sounds boring. But the name Indiana was the name of George Lucas's dog. He had a big Malamute, and he uh, based the character Chewbacca in the Star Wars films after his dog. So he named the character Indiana Jones after his dog. Um, so so that's the name. That's how the name Indiana came from. So anyway, so Solo of course says the dog. You were named after the dog. And of course, the scene ends with all four characters: Marcus, Sala, and of course the Jones boys riding off to the sunset. And that was like the perfect ending for the Indiana Jones trilogy. Even though, like I said earlier, I felt this was like the weakest one out of the original three, um, because it was. I thought that Lucas and Spielberg tried too hard to recapture the magic they had for the first one. Because, like I said, excuse me, and like I said in my review for the Temple of Doom, it got really, really like dark elements. It got a lot of criticism because it was, you know, not suitable for children. For Temple of Doom, for Last Crusade, they tried to line up a little bit and have a relationship with bring his father in here, but do all that stuff with the background of the character. Because Indiana Jones was a mysterious character, and you didn't really know his upbringing pretty much. Um, well, in the first movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, he did have some of his background when we reveals his past relationship with Mary Ravenwood, the Kim Allen character, and how his mentor was Marion's father. Uh, so people kind of like that, and in Temple of Doom, the kind of stuff was kind of missing in Temple of Doom. They're trying to reinvigorate that angle of Indiana Jones' life and trying to bring up his background into the third film, which was I can understand why they did it, but I felt it was kind of unnecessary to do that. Uh, and actually, of course, I did like the stuff at the beginning, how Indiana got the web, got the hat, got the dress the way he dressed in the movie with the leather jacket and the fedora hat, and of course the knowing how to use the bullwhip, his fear of snakes. And that stuff was kind of fun, and it was a kind of a fun opening sequence, but it kind of dies down as soon as they put the father in there. Even though I like Sean Connery, no knock on him, because I've always kind of was a Sean Connery fan from the James Bond movies. But beyond that, it just yeah, because I felt that Sean Connery did not look old enough to play Indiana Jones' father because already Harrison Ford was already in his mid to late 40s when he was in the Last Crusade, and I thought that Harrison Ford that Sean Connery maybe in his early 60s, maybe late 50s, late 50s, early 60s when he played this role. So I thought that Sean Connery was a little bit too old. I felt he wasn't old enough to play Indy's father. If he was in like in his 70s or maybe 80 years old, uh, then I could buy him being Indiana's father. But I felt it was like a little bit too young, and two of them were like way too close in age to make it believable for at least for me, make it believable. Even though it was Sean Connery was already all gray, he lost a good chunk of his hair, but at that point. But it just didn't look believable. And this was coming off Sean Connery. I think it was Sean Connery's first movie. Well, I may be wrong, but I think this was his first movie role since winning the Oscar for The Untouchables. I felt that it was way too not old enough to play Indy's father. At least I think so. I mean, he looks it, so that he acts like it in, throughout the film. But to me, I think they were like too close. Two of them were both close in age. You know, Harrison Ford was like 35 when the first Star Wars film came out, and that was like in 1977. Uh, so, so I felt that was like too close in age. That's my one big criticism. And since I have some Few minutes left over. I do want to bring up. This DVD is part of the 2003 DVD set. The whole the event is called the Adventures of Indiana Jones, the complete DVD movie collection, and I want to talk about, of course, this the back of the box looks like a picture of Indiana Jones. And I do want to talk about the fourth disc. They're all four discs in this set. The three movies. As a matter of fact, when I bought this set, the movies were actually in this order. I'm going to try to see if I can pick up on the camera. It was actually in this order. The Temple of Doom. Oh, there it goes. Look, there's an actual blooper, folks. Uh, the films were actually in this order. Thank you for the camera. Uh, Temple Temple of Doom, Race of the Lost Ark, and Last Crusade. Because, like I said, my Temple of Doom uh, review, it was supposed to be a prequel. So it's in the order of the year that the movie's supposed to take place in. But the fourth disc, of course, the bonus material disc. So anyway, what the back looks like. Well, this movie, the main thing in this movie is the behind the scenes of the making of the Indiana Jones trilogy. And it's a pretty good film, and it's really a film that could have been on each one of the three discs. At least the one with behind the scenes of Raiders, of Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade. They could have easily divided it up into three parts, which of course, which technically it is, but putting on each one of the three discs. And also it has stuff behind the scenes with the stunts, the music, the special effects, and which is of course which is for any film fan or any Indiana Jones fan like I am will be interested in watching the behind the scenes stuff. Especially when you talk about the first movie of Raiders, the snakes through the pit with the famous scene with the cobra. Of course, which I didn't mention in my Indiana and Raiders of the Lost Ark review, there was actually a paint, and you could barely see it. I mean, you can't see if you look close. There's actually a pane of glass between Indiana Jones and the Cobra. And there was actually one point during one particular take when the Cobra actually spat venom on the glass. So, even though people were making jokes about the snakes and being scared of them and dealing with all the snakes, that was some serious shit that was going on. And as a matter of fact, one of the people who actually worked behind the scenes of the films actually got bit by one of the snakes. Not the cobra, but most of the snakes were like non-poisonous snakes. I mean, they made sure that they were non-venomous or non-poisonous snakes, except of course for the cobra. They had to take huge precautions for that. And of course, they also go into the Temple of Doom, the controversy Temple of Doom, which I mentioned in that review. And of course, also talk about how they got Sean Connery in there involved in the third film. Uh, but the documentary of the three films was interesting. They do have a reference to it or the possibility of a fourth indie movie. And it came out like I think 4 or 5 years after the release of this DVD set. There was the fourth movie, which is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Crystal Skull, which was awful. It was an awful movie, and I don't know. I'm not even 100% sure if we're going to do a review on that. I think I may be doing it, but I think it's a waste of time for me to do that movie because the movie was so awful. If we get enough comments, maybe we'll do that review of that movie. But if we get enough of the spots, maybe we'll do that review of that one. But that movie was terrible. I mean, I did like the fact they brought back Karen Allen. And a spoiler, Indiana Jones and Marion get married at the very end of Kingdom of Crystal Skull, which I kind of like. But but it came way too late in this movie, because the movie was so god awful bad. But that's my review of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment on it. Please subscribe to my channel and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. And also you can check out all of my videos not only on my YouTube channel but also on WallyC.com. That's all WDY, C.com. You can check out all of my videos on that website as well. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you next time.